So those vloggers who tested 185Hz likely got put on the whitelist. Well, since I was not on that list, my take differs. I think its performance is just okay, but its cameras are top-notch simple as that. So today, you're just doing a deep dive on the Redmi K100 Pro. That 185Hz well-balanced flagship. Just how well does it perform? Time for an upgrade. After this tweak. Full disclosure, before this test I updated the OS and all games are their latest version, so no slacking due to outdated software. Let us unbox. Inside, besides the phone, the accessories include a 100-watt power brick, a white power cable, a simple SIM ejector tool, and a hard case shell that ages less than those clear ones. My colorway is called Cabernet Red Drop One Word, and that's the name of a certain 8+1. So yeah, that back shell's vibe is so awesome. Plus, those Apple esque large rounded corners and that full width metal trim further elevate the whole device's feel. It looks so good, it barely seems like a Redmi. As for details, the whole device weighs around 218 grams, not exactly light, and is 8.55mm thick, which is pretty standard. But thanks to its quad curved wraparound metal mid-frame, it doesn't feel hefty, rather. It has a solid feel. It feels thin-skinned, but packed with feeling bolstering Xiaomi's reputation for great value. Plus, the Pro version has no speaker beneath its logo. Just a deco piece, the module bump has just one step, and all lenses and a flash SID flash, much to the delight of OCD folks. As for button layout, the volume and unlock keys sit on the right. The left side is bare nothing there at all. On the bottom, you have the SIM-tray mic Type-C charging port and speaker. The top holds just a speaker. No IR port might make you think it lacks one, but in fact it's built in, tossed in a flashlight. And it is like you think it is a brick phone, but it is a razor. And what you think is a razor is in fact a hairdryer.
This is so damn trolling.
Fire up the screen and on the front you get a 6.59-inch 1.5K 185Hz ultra high refresh rate display that uses a full RGB lossless pixel layout to be as crisp as 2K. But what struck me most was the brightness. Peak brightness across scenes hits 4500 nits, topping out at 10,000 nits, making the display super clear, even in sunlight. Performed Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 V series in my tests, it trailed slightly behind the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. I thought that was just right after all 6.59 inches is a mid-sized screen, and that triple camera module takes up so much space. A conservative performance lets it shine without straining the cooling. Yet gaming-wise, it was surprising. Honor of Kings lets you enable native 144Hz at max graphics, and in game mode you can bump that up with super frame and super resolution. But the frame rate logging software could only detect the original rate pre-up sampling, not the post-up sampled one. True, this V series is just too new. So to be fair, I had to stick with just native 144Hz and super resolution. Feels decent in practice, barely any frame rate fluctuations, sticking close to 144Hz, which lines up with that Antutu benchmark, just that the temps run a bit high. My take, it needs tweaking, not as smooth as larger performance phones. If you love gaming, I would suggest spending more to snag a large screen model with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. As for that popular Bang 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 game that claims 185Hz port, on the day I captured my footage, it only went up to 120Hz. So those vloggers who tested 185Hz likely got put on the whitelist. This game should scale up to 185Hz, since once I enable Super Frame, the game runs at over 90Hz, which clearly times 2 equals 180Hz. Without Super Frame or at HD graphics, the frame rate stays quite stable, just a frame or two of fluctuation, and the temp gets a bit warm. Based on my experience testing other 185Hz phones, once it's optimized, it should run stably slightly behind fan-equipped ones, but a tad better than small screen phones with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. As for that certain open world mobile game, its performance this time was decent, with just super resolution on the visuals are so awesome, and the frame rate stays pretty stable, just some minor spikes now and then, which fits this price range. So having covered the UI optimized ones, let us talk about one that is optimized. CF supports native 185Hz plus. This game is not very demanding, so the FPS shows almost no fluctuation. True, temps are super stable too, feels like even after long sessions, no throttling lag or frame drops will pop up. Compared to 120Hz, you can feel that 185Hz is way smoother after all. That is 65 more frames per second, like adding a whole extra fruit to the mix. A 185Hz refresh rate with certain gear. That 185Hz could even let you fire off a few more shots. Truly number 185Hz, no esports. Though no matter which phone you use, you will still suck at gaming. The cams feel great. Don't just see that 1/1.56-inch main cam and Gen 5 periscope telephoto and think it's no good. In good light, its performance is flagship grade zoom in, and it has that Leica feel, with sky details fully preserved, plus that Gen 5 periscope telephoto has its perks. You can get super close without it switching to the main cam, letting you snap some very textured close-ups. Zoom 2 times with no IQ drop easy to get great shots. If you love shooting moving pics, this gen upgrades with 3 live motion modes, which add cinematic flair to your live shots, boosting that vibe even more. As for max telephoto, it is modestly kept at 60 times. Compared to the main cam, it zooms, but don't expect great shots from it. The main cam's night shots are superb, not like they came from a phone, but more like a proper camera. Even the small sensor telephoto cam turns out decent shots, free from noise degrading the quality. Portraits are decent, good daytime bokeh, natural skin tones, and for night shots, the flash creates a strong, atmospheric feel. One grab the watermarks, there are plenty of them, but their quality is just so-so. Plus, in cinema aspect ratio, they don't display right hope, they fix that in a future update. So, this phone's photo quality outshines its hardware specs. Think of it as a budget imaging flagship.
Nice.
For peripherals, an 8580mAh battery paired with 100-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging. Yep, just like a flagship, it supports wireless charging, has a 3D ultrasonic fingerprint sensor you can set up with just a few swipes, and boasts top-tier waterproofing. So if it gets grimy, give it a rinse. If that doesn't cut it, blast it. Under the tap, the upside of waterproofing, you can shoot underwater videos like this. Why not? It can really level up your creativity. As for the speakers, they are both collab, so you can tweak the EQ and all that, but sonically they don't pack as much punch as its haptics do. Before you pick this one, do try out that motor. I haven't felt such a crisp, clean vibration in ages, which is why it stuck with me. It's so cool. UJ is so cool. Final wrap up, this phone is well balanced for its 3000 yuan price point. It is not that mid-range performance rig you might picture, but rather a flagship alternative that trades some performance for top-notch imaging. Within that 6.59-inch frame, which is not exactly spacious, they crammed in a triple camera setup, which itself takes up more room. Plus, it uses a newer chip, so testing software has not caught up, hence why during my test it felt less impressive than advertised. But in a month or two, given Xiaomi's dev prowess, I trust it will become a gaming powerhouse among mid-size phones. Still, compared to mobile gaming, I would rather praise its cameras. Such qualities, this is not just mid-range anymore. This absolutely taps into entry-level imaging flagship territory. Calling it a ground-up upgrade isn't an exaggeration. Its peripheral specs have no flaws, and its audio and haptics are even impressive. In this age where RAM bloats phone prices, the Redmi K100 Pro's config trade-offs are worth rivals learning from. It rivals entry-level imaging flagships and best small-screen performance mid-rangers proof a mid-size phone can be well-balanced, and that Redmi's cameras can be truly flagship grade. So on a scale of 0 to 5, what score would you give this Redmi K100 Pro?